Ever tried making carbonara but ended up with scrambled eggs and noodles? Yeah, we've all been there. But today I'm going to show you how to do it the proper way, and we're adding a little bit of a twist. We're adding smoky Spanish chorizo. So go ahead and stick around and enjoy the recipe. Now let's get this straight. Real carbonara doesn't have garlic, peas, cream, or really anything you see on TikTok, because let's be honest, most of the recipes you see on TikTok are absolute trash. So I'm going to show you how to make this real and real good. First, we're going to start out by salting our pasta water. Make sure that you salt it like the sea, because 90% of that salt is going to go down the drain once you drain the pasta. The reason that we salt it like the sea is because we want to make sure that everything gets emulsified and all the salt gets into the pasta. Now we're going to add our pasta to the pasta water. Make sure that you add as much as you think you need, but don't break the pasta in half, because that is an Italian sin and you will be sent to Italian hell for that. Once the pasta becomes loose and a little bit of wiggly, you can push it down into the pot so that it cooks evenly. Cook it to the box instructions, but no more, no less. We're going to get 1 cup of our pasta water to save for our pasta sauce later. Set this off to the side until we're ready to make the sauce. Once we have done our pasta, we're going to go ahead and chop our chorizo into thin slices. Slicing it like this will allow it to crisp up easier and render out the fat better. And while we're watching this slicing, have you hit that subscribe button? Make sure that you do so that you don't miss beautiful recipes like this in the future. And if you like to, make sure you leave a like and a comment so that I know that you're watching this video and that you're loving these recipes. Now we're going to add our chorizo to a cold pan. The reason that we're adding it to a cold pan is that so that the pan heats up with the chorizo and we render out more of the fat and making it crispier. Now once the chorizo has rendered for about 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to go ahead and take it out of the pan and place it on a nice clean paper towel to render out any of the leftover grease so that it does drain and make everything nice and crispy. Make sure that you do leave the grease inside the pan, because we are going to be tossing our spaghetti into the pan and allow that nice carbonara flavor to get into the spaghetti. Now we're going to go ahead and make our sauce. Our sauce is very simple to make. All you need is Parmesan or Pecorino Romano, and you also need 3 eggs. 2 eggs are going to be whole, and then 1 egg is just going to be the yolk. So we're going to go ahead and start with cracking our eggs. 1 egg, 2 egg, and then the 3rd egg is just going to be the egg yolk. Now the 3rd egg is the yolk, so I got a bowl to put the other stuff into it. So we're just going to go ahead and hand siphon that. And this extra yolk is just going to add some extra creaminess to it. Now we're going to take our Parmesan cheese and grate it into our eggs. We want about 1.5 cups. Don't worry about adding salt or pepper to this, because the Parmesan cheese will add salt, and Parmesan is naturally salty. Once you've added all of your Parmesan cheese, you're going to go ahead and give it a good mix with the eggs in it. Make sure that everything is emulsified, otherwise it will not work. Once you make sure that everything is emulsified with the cheese and the eggs, you're going to go ahead and add some of your pasta water to temper those eggs. Make sure that you add it a small amount at a time so that it doesn't actually scramble the eggs. We're also going to add about 2 tablespoons of black pepper into this, just to give it some of that nice peppery flavor and also make it look prettier in plating. Now here comes the fun part. We're going to add our spaghetti back into our pan with our grease, and we're going to heat it up on medium-low heat, making sure that we get the spaghetti nice and hot so that when we do add the eggs and the Parmesan, it does create a nice thick layer of sauce. Once we have gotten the spaghetti all heated up, we're going to go ahead and add our egg mixture into the spaghetti. We're going to make sure that we keep the spaghetti at a constant temperature and stirring it, because if we do not stir it enough, we will allow it to cook and we'll end up with scrambled egg spaghetti. We don't want scrambled egg spaghetti, trust me. Now, to thin out the sauce, we're going to add a little bit more of our pasta water and give that a good stir, making sure that we are incorporating everything into it. The pasta water will thicken the sauce as well. Now we're going to go ahead and take it off the heat so that we can have it cooling down, and we're going to go ahead and give it a good nice stir, making sure that all of the noodles have the sauce on them. Now we're just going to go ahead and chiffonade some basil. Chiffonading some basil just means rolling it up and slicing it into thin, long slices. This will add color to the pasta and give it a little bit more of a nice flavor. Now, once our dish is complete, we're going to go ahead and give it a good plate up and make it look all pretty. So we're going to go ahead and take our carbonara. I'm going to take one of our long pasta forks rather. This is pretty much a tong that I use. And we're just going to give it a good twirl. Essentially just giant twirl of spaghetti. We're going to twirl it. We're just going to place it on because we want height, and height is what gives us the prettiness. So once we got the height, we're going to add some of our chorizo, and because we cooked these so perfectly and they're so crispy, you can just go ahead and crumble them a little bit over top of your stuff. They want to crumble. Then we're going to take a little bit of basil just to give a little bit of green to it. So it's not all just beige, because we don't like beige. And then we're going to put some fresh Parmesan. Now, as we finish up putting some Parmesan on our carbonara, you can see that this looks absolutely amazing. So if you've enjoyed this recipe and you want to make it for your friends and family, go ahead and leave a like, a follow, and don't forget to subscribe. But until then, I'll see you next recipe. Bye!